What if Revan awakened to train Anakin and Starkiller? Let's explore the depths of it in the video. Anakin tosses and turns in his bed, feeling his entire body racked with pain as he struggles to beat back the Sith nightmares. He watches as Padme battles with the rigors of childbirth, fighting with everything she has to keep her children alive. Ultimately, it is a losing fight as she succumbs to her exhaustion. This should normally be where Anakin wakes up, but instead his dream ripples and shifts. He is transported from the hospital room to a darkened chamber where a figure is waiting for them, sitting cross-legged with a Mandalorian helmet, looking up.
So, at last, I found you, Chosen One.
Who are you?
Anakin, I am your father.
What?
I'm just kidding. No, I am Revan. I've come with a warning about your dreams. They are not what you think. These are illusions meant to lure you astray. Your destiny lies elsewhere.
My destiny? What do you know about my destiny?
I know you have a hard road ahead of you, but staying on Coruscant will not help. It is a cesspool full of scum and villainy, and that is even before the Sith get their hands on it. Meanwhile, the Jedi are too busy playing politics to remember which side they're on.
Anakin wants to open his mouth and contradict him, but truthfully, Revan did not say a single wrong thing. He instead regards the Sith Lord with fresh eyes, not fully trusting, but also not fully dismissive of him. Revan nods his head and touches his forehead, showing Anakin just where he is. Dantooine, in the abandoned Sith temple. Whether he chooses to go there is entirely up to him. Before he can ask anything more, his vision fades, and the young Jedi is back in his room. The difference is, he no longer feels like this is his place. Though he is tasked with spying on the Chancellor, Anakin feels like this is too important to ignore, and tells the Jedi he has discovered a clue to the dark side. Before they can say no to him, he hops on his starfighter and takes off for the Outer Rim planet. There, Revan is ready to greet him.
So, you're the Chosen One of this time.
You have an interesting choice of locations.
This temple once belonged to the Sith until the Jedi captured it from them. The place was purified and has served as an outpost for the Order ever since. I know the history.
And it's been protected by the dark side.
Protected against the dark, against betrayal. Is that what they told you? I bet they said the same thing about their temple on Coruscant. Look around you, Anakin. You are trapped in a dying order. One who cannot even see the danger as a lightsaber is held against their throat.
Anakin looks away, jaw tight.
I'm not sure if I can save them, but I can teach you. I sense your doubt. Why is that?
It's not the Jedi Order I'm fighting for. It's the ones I love.
Was that what those nightmares were about?
They were.
Then let me teach you. I will give you the strength to save the ones you love. The wisdom to wield power without falling into darkness. The way to become more.
Anakin's breath catches. Padme. Visions of her death haunt his nights. He would do anything to save her. He knows about Revan, one of the greatest Jedi who ever lived, but one of the most controversial. One who walked the paths of light and darkness. Teach me. The training chamber is ancient, deep beneath the temple ruins where no light from the surface reaches. Stone walls loom, scarred with the marks of long-forgotten duels. 1,000 candles flicker, their flames bending under unseen currents of the Force. Anakin stands at the center of a ritual circle, his eyes closed, his breathing steady. He listens, not with ears, but with instinct, sharpened by Revan's brutal lessons. The first trial is mastery over emotion.
Your rage, your fear, your love. They are rivers. Do not dam them. You do not drown in them. You shape them. Let it flow freely, so you may direct its current.
Anakin feels anger rise. Memories of the Council's disdain, of Obi-Wan's lectures, of Padme's fearful eyes. His heart pounds, demanding action, demanding violence. But as he rises to that anger, the candles burn brighter around him, not in support, but a warning. Revan stands over them and crosses his arms, shaking his head. He doesn't lash out. Instead, Revan begins moving, using the force around him to let the flames dance around them. The movements do not burn, they do not surge in power, but they are poised to strike. Anakin watches this, understanding what he's trying to show, and mimics the movements with his anger, letting it flow through him slowly, guiding it through his body, and then letting it out. It bursts around him, not in some grand explosion, but a controlled burst. The second trial is the binding of light and dark. Before him, 2 holocrons hover. One Jedi, glowing blue and serene. One Sith, burning red and furious.
To split them is to cripple yourself. Fuse them. Become whole.
Anakin raises his hands. The blue holocron resists, retreating. The red snarls, trying to consume him. He pushes deeper, forcing his will between them. Not choosing, not denying either. Both reach out with their power, flowing through opposite hands, and as they flow through his chest, they begin to war. Sweat beads his forehead, his muscles lock, trembling. The force within him churns into chaos, but Anakin is no longer a pawn of others' rules. With a wordless cry, he draws the 2 together. They fuse into a brilliant violet flare, spinning in his palm, a symbol of balance made flesh. For the last test, the 2 journey back to Coruscant, but not to a place where Anakin expects. Revan sends Anakin into the underbelly of the city, blindfolded, stripped of weapon and title. There, among the homeless, the broken, the forgotten, Anakin walks unseen. He must heal, not fight. Listen, not command. Each wounded mind, each trembling spirit he touches with the Force, not dominating, but weaving hope back into their hearts. He mends the broken without lifting a blade. He restores without speaking his name. By the end of the 3rd day, an entire sector once steeped in fear blooms with new vitality. Children laugh. Food passes freely among strangers. Murals appear on shattered walls. Images of a nameless guardian clad in shadow and light. When he finds Revan waiting by his ship, the Jedi gives him a thumbs up. But this is just the start. There is more work that needs to be done. Many like Anakin, wayward Jedi and Force sensitives, have lost their way and need guidance. That's their new mission, to guide them. Revan had already found his first target on Kashyyyk. Deep within the forests, he spots a child in need of training, one whose powers are not like any other. The 2 of them journey there in secret to find this child and deal with the droid attack on the Wookiees. When they begin their search for this lost Jedi, they do not use scanners or technology, but the Force. Revan has sensed his presence since his awakening, but now Anakin can do the same, and the 2 let that guide them deeper into the forest. It takes them far beyond the usual battlefields, along the coast and deeper inland, where the forests are dense and the dangers are greater, but they stumble across an isolated Wookiee village untouched by the fighting. But the most surprising thing is the presence of 2 Jedi who were not part of the Republic task force here, Kento and Mali Merrick. Both Jedi watch the pair warily.
Master Skywalker, a surprise to see you. Who is your friend? Trust me, Master. You wouldn't believe me even if I told you. But I am curious to hear your story. I haven't heard from you or Master Mali in months. Many had assumed something had happened to you.
You could say something like that, but we simply grew tired of the war. Grew tired of watching the Jedi turn into something it was never supposed to be. And it seems like you found good use of your spare time.
He points into the house.
I sense other Jedi there. Care to explain now, or should I go in and check myself?
If you're trying to shame us, Master, it will not work. We knew what we did, and we understood the consequences. We simply don't care. We learned there are things more important than the Jedi Order.
It takes Anakin a moment to realize what they're saying, but as he watches them hold hands and see the way the 2 Jedi regard each other, he understands. He is touched. In many ways, it is what he hopes for Padme and himself. Revan does not condemn them, though. Instead, he just crosses his arms and nods.
On that we agree. I'm not here to debate you, Master. I'm here to offer my help. Something is happening in the galaxy. I do not believe this war will end the way anyone thinks it will. The Jedi are blinded by the scales in their eyes, and the Senate is too corrupt to act. Only those who have seen their corruption and resisted it can rise. You said it yourself. The Jedi became something they shouldn't. Let's make it what it should be.
Kento and Mali look at each other. It was a tempting offer, as though they didn't want to admit it. They longed to be part of something like that again, and they can sense the great power in Revan. Their only condition is that both parents must be a part as well. Slowly they take them inside and reveal Galen Merrick, their only son. Revan takes the boy gingerly and lifts him. Almost at once he can sense the immense power in him. This was the boy they were looking for. He is old enough to be a youngling, so Revan takes him as his next student. The forests of Kashyyyk are aflame with war. Republic and Separatist forces clash at the coastal fronts, but deep inland, where the ancient trees stretch higher than skyscrapers, a different battle unfolds. One unseen by command posts and Senate eyes. Here, among the towering roots and tangled vines, Revan's small band wages its own war. Training is not given through lectures or dogmatic lessons. It is forged through actions. Galen Merrick, still a boy, but fearless, sprints between the roots of massive warshar trees, a makeshift wooden staff spinning in his hand. With Republic forces spread thin, they cannot defend everywhere, and smaller towns are left to fend for themselves, until Revan shows up and drives them back. With his band of Jedi followers, they begin to strike back from the forests, raiding the droid forces and reclaiming these villages. Patrols of droids disappear, and MTTs are destroyed while their landing zones are sabotaged. They also help manage their rear lines, helping save the villagers, healing their injured, and helping them rebuild. This is where Galen remains, primarily remaining far away from the action. Here, Revan teaches him how to balance his powers in the Force and unleash it in controlled bursts instead of letting his emotions or the Jedi Code blind it. As it turns out, Galen is an excellent student. He learns quickly and continues to balance his training and gains multiple Force abilities. Yet he remains eager to join the action and put these skills to the test. There is some reluctance to let him in, but his father recalls his days as a young Jedi and how he felt the same way and agrees. He soon joins them in their next attack on an occupied village. Droids clatter after him, blaster bolts carving burning scars into the ancient bark. Anakin watches from a high branch, nodding once before dropping down like a thunderclap, lightsaber slicing cleanly through two battle droids mid-fall.
Use the terrain. You are not fighting on open fields. The trees are your shield, your spear, your strength.
Galen ducks under a root the size of a house, pivots and swings upward, knocking the rifle from a battle droid's hands. The Wookiees roar in approval from their hidden positions, unleashing a hail of bowcaster fire to finish the rest. Nearby, Revan moves through the battlefield like a phantom. He trains by example. A flick of his hand sends a squad of droids crashing into a sinkhole. A subtle twist of the Force mends a Wookiee's broken leg, even as he battles. He teaches Galen and Anakin that strength is not only destruction, but preservation. Kento and Mali fight alongside them, their connection to the living Force renewed. Their lightsabers flash in tandem, guardians of a village forgotten by the war, protecting those the Republic left behind. Their philosophy is simple: save those no one else will, fight battles no one else deems worthy, build something pure in the ashes of a crumbling order. Days turn into weeks. Each village they save strengthens their bond. Galen learns to listen to the Force, not as a master to a servant, but as a living current around them. He learns to deflect blaster fire with instinct, not calculation. He learns to heal wounds with touch and will. He learns what it means to be more than a Jedi or a soldier, to be a protector. In the deepest forests, Quinlan Voss, battle-worn but sharp-eyed, finds them. Although he claims he simply got lost after he was separated from his unit, it is clear that the Master Tracker intended to find them and congratulated them for their victories. He promises to aid them however he can and shows them where the Republic plans to strike, intending to let them coordinate their battle plan. But little do they know that as they talk, a probe droid is watching, careful to observe their conversation. This one doesn't transmit to the Republic command or even to Yoda, but directly to Palpatine, who smiles at the sight of them. So he has at long last discovered the mysterious threat to his growing rule. The plan is simple: strike hard, strike fast. Quinlan Voss's intelligence is sharp, and the target is a Separatist outpost buried beneath the roots of a collapsed warshow tree. If they succeed, the droid forces in this region will crumble. Most of their garrison would be away too, as the clones on the shore would launch a simultaneous offensive on the coast, letting them coordinate their strikes. Anakin leads the charge, his blade furiously cutting through the droid forces outside and mowing a path for more forces to join him. Beside him, Galen dashes forward, still young but each movement flowing with raw power and precision. His parents stay close to him, but leap up and take out the droid forces on top of the tree, trying to snipe them. Revan holds the line at the flank, moving like a general of old, commanding Wookiee warriors with steady gestures of the Force. At first, everything unfolds perfectly. Explosives planted, droid reinforcements ambushed in the ravines. The outpost's shields fall under the Wookiees' assault. Victory is within reach. But then, the trap closes. From the ridges surrounding the battlefield, Republic gunships descend with howling engines. Jedi Knights and clone commandos pour out in tight formations, not to aid them, but to encircle them. Through the deafening noise of blaster fire and battle, Anakin feels it first, the sharp wrongness in the Force. A voice booms from the loudspeaker of the lead gunship, a voice distorted to hide its origin.
Revan, lay down your arms. You are accused of treason, kidnapping, and corruption of a Jedi Knight, of gathering exiled Jedi to create your own Sith order. Surrender immediately.
Anakin's heart pounds. He catches Revan's eyes across the field. The old master freezes, his mind racing and trying to make sense of what happened. He considers whether Quinlan betrayed them, but doesn't have time to think of it. Instead, he waves his hand and orders them to retreat. Revan's Jedi forces scatter in the woods. Mali and Kento disappear into the woods, guiding Galen with them, while Anakin leaps into the darkness. Revan holds the rear and blocks the initial strikes. But before Mace can strike, Revan leaps back and disappears into the forest. The forest makes it hard for their forces to follow them, letting him escape into the wilderness. Mace and the clones try to follow, but it is difficult for them to do so. Soon, Revan watches them disappear behind them. Yet as he takes his place before they can react, the true threat emerges. From the shattered ruins, a monstrous shape lumbers forward, summoned and unleashed by Palpatine's will. A torrent attack snarls as it charges. Revan turns at once to face it, and his lightsaber flares to life. He battles the beast alone at first, weaving between its tusks and claws with impossible speed. Each one is sharp enough to kill him, but he dodges it, and barely. He slashes him across the chest and stomach, though the creature continues to rush at him. As he scores another blow against its side, it sweeps its tail and sends Revan stumbling back. Anakin moves to help, raising his lightsaber and slicing behind its knees. Galen tries to rush forward from the other side, but the creature's razor sweeps his arm towards him. Revan lands a final blow against the torrent attack's flank, but not before one of its massive claws rakes across his side, tearing through armor and flesh. The old master crumples to one knee, blood staining the grass. Without hesitation, Anakin and Galen surge through the lines. Their training was momentarily forgotten as they let their anger get the better of them and spring forward. Their lightsabers flash angrily, starting to rain down attacks on him as they cut the torrent attack. Anakin hoists Revan onto his back as Galen deflects blaster fire with fierce protective rage. But as he escapes, the rage in his chest does not disappear. Not at the droids, or even the torrent attack, but at the Jedi, who turned on him and denied him again and nearly took his master. Revan is brought to their headquarters to recover. Although he is stable, it will take weeks for him to recover. In the meantime, the Jedi will continue their operations to finish off the droids, but the Jedi are on high alert and continue to watch them. They send search parties throughout the forest, trying to track them down. This makes it harder to fulfill their operations, and soon they must focus solely on just avoiding being caught as the patrols increase. Revan laments that they are spending more time hunting them than the droid forces, and wonders what is happening, but Anakin doesn't think about it. He simply feels. Though he tries to keep his frustrations in check, weeks of hiding infuriate him, and he isn't alone. Galen has never seen the Jedi before, and has no attachment, but seeing them now only fuels the distrust growing in them. While they go out on their mission, they begin indulging in their anger, not just at the droids, but also throw themselves into combat. They strike at the Republic forces too, hitting their supply lines and burning their depots. It feels good to make them pay and satisfies them at first, but their anger soon grows, and they decide to continue, even striking at troops directly. He cuts through the clones and sometimes the Jedi Order. For the next few days, the Republic forces unleash their wrath as dozens of clones meet their end, and even a few Jedi, as Anakin lets his rage get the better of him. Yet, after their most daring raid, the two disappear into the dark of the forest, but fail to notice the Jedi following after them. In the shadow of the dense Kashyyyk forest, Quinlan Vos finds them at last. Anakin and Galen are waiting by the ruins of a shattered supply outpost, still smoldering from their last raid. The night is heavy with mist and the hum of distant battles.
You made too much noise this time, Skywalker.
Anakin glares at him, his blade half drawn. Galen is ready to strike, but Quinlan doesn't flinch. Instead, he slowly approaches, lowering his voice to a conspiratorial whisper. I'm not here to fight you. I know you're upset with the Jedi, and I don't really blame you. I'm here to talk. I've done some digging, and I found out the Senate authorized those new forces to join the campaign. Officially, they're here to help us finish the droids, and yet, I haven't seen them fight any droids. Anakin narrows his eyes. Who sent them? Mace Windu. But only after a recommendation. The order came straight from Palpatine. The words crash into Anakin harder than any blow. His mind reels. His breath shortens. Palpatine, the man he trusted, the one who promised to guide him.
You'll help us?
Let's just say I never liked politics much. They stage a surrender that night. Quinlan relays their desire to surrender and reports all of that to Palpatine. The hologram flickers to life, the wrinkled face of the Chancellor looming large in the shadows.
My boy, you must return. Now. There are matters far more urgent than these petty battles. Padme, she is not well. She needs you. Her child is coming.
Anakin freezes. His heart lurches into his throat. It's not a threat. It's the truth. And a confession. He can feel it now, deep in the Force. Padme, struggling. The child, vulnerable. Anakin gathers the others, urgency burning in his chest. With Quinlan's help, they hijack a transport and slip past the Republic blockade, making a desperate, secretive journey back to Coruscant. The first step is Padme's home, where she lies helpless and alone. Anakin goes to check on her while Galen begins healing. Yet his effects are limited, as her condition remains serious. Revan takes a look, still injured but recovering enough to join them. He looks over and shakes his head.
This is no natural illness. Something is affecting her.
I think I know what. Master, you and Quinlan should remain here. I'll need to talk to an old friend.
Their small group leaves Padme's apartment. Anakin, pausing long enough to stroke her hair, and promises he'll be back just as they reach Palpatine's residence. There are several Jedi guards there, but Kento and Mali draw them out and distract the guards. Meanwhile, Anakin and Galen move swiftly through the secret corridors leading to the Chancellor's private chambers. The doors burst open with a crash. Palpatine stands at the far end, waiting, smiling. His robes fall away, revealing the deformed, shadowy figure beneath. Not the benevolent Chancellor, but Darth Sidious, Lord of the Sith.
I hope you are here to pledge your allegiance to me, Skywalker. Think about it. The Jedi failed you. They feared what you could learn. They have nothing to offer you.
You're right. They don't. But that doesn't mean I'm learning anything from you.
He ignites his saber, its blue glow reflected in his furious eyes. Galen follows, igniting his own with a snap hiss, a fierce echo.
You disappoint me, young one. We could rule the galaxy together.
Palpatine strikes first, lightning flashing from his fingers, forcing Anakin and Galen back. But Anakin absorbs it into his blade and throws it back. Palpatine dissipates it and springs forward. Galen blocks the strike and rolls aside, and then kicks him aside just as Anakin counters. He slashes his lightsaber, and Palpatine parries these strikes. He ducks under these attacks, letting Anakin batter him as Galen comes from the other side. With a quick spin, he thrusts his lightsaber up at the younger Jedi, who struggles to halt this attack, forcing Anakin to slam into him and force him back. When Palpatine staggers, the two bring their lightsabers on him, but the Chancellor catches their weapons and lets the darkness flow out of them as they strike. Galen is fast and wild. Anakin is relentless, and yet Palpatine is true, unlimited power that throws them back. When they stumble, the Chancellor raises objects from around the room and hurls them. Anakin growls and rushes at them, blocking each piece of debris and breaking apart the furniture. Galen tries to leap over and rushes at him, but Palpatine sidesteps his attack and then kicks him against the wall. He parries Anakin's strike and then prepares to run Galen through, but a shape appears behind him, and Revan rushes out, redirecting the attack.
I thought I told you to remain with Padme.
And when did you ever follow orders?
Growling, Palpatine raises his lightsaber and rushes towards them, sweeping another lightning strike. While Galen and Anakin move to defend, Revan intercepts it, channeling it through ancient techniques even Sidious has never seen before. Sidious fights like a demon, but the three overwhelm him, through unity, the very thing he could never understand. Finally, Anakin kicks Palpatine back as Revan locks his lightsaber. As he stumbles, he drives his lightsaber through his chest. Meanwhile, Galen takes his head off. With Palpatine dead, they can heal Padme as her sickness breaks without someone to continue feeding the dark side. She soon gives birth to 2 healthy children, and Anakin makes sure the Jedi never gets them. The death of Palpatine raises some questions, but the recordings of his home prove that Anakin and Revan were innocent, and in truth, it was Palpatine who was the real Sith Lord. Though the Jedi Order offers their apologies, neither chooses to return there. Instead, both leave permanently to continue their new Jedi Order with Galen, Mali, and Kento. Quinlan Vos joins them, and they focus their efforts on rebuilding the galaxy.
That's our theory. The Star Wars universe is a galaxy filled with exciting stories and possibilities, and we love exploring them. If you want to accompany us on this journey to a galaxy far, far away, then please like, share, and subscribe to our channel.